Leo 16, sunrise after a storm. Life isn't meant to be easy. That's not the purpose of our incarnation. Our purpose here is to deal with things, and therefore we have to have things to deal with. Some of them are everyday and ordinary. We need to get into a routine, find a rhythm of life which is workable, expedient. It deals with our responsibilities, our needs for comfort and enjoyment and furtherment and so on. Occasionally, though, things happen which are really not what we would want. We would never bring it on, but they happen anyway. And these storms in life really challenge us to the core, and they measure who we are. And when they come, we have to know that we can cope. If we don't have that knowledge that we can cope, then we live in fear, actually. And it may be not a kind of fear which is obvious and constantly emotional, but it's beneath every one of our decisions. We take insurance policies out, and we do jobs that we don't enjoy because they're more secure, and we have the ability to tolerate relationships that are really not giving us anything because we're afraid of having to face the drama of loneliness for a little while until we learn that solitude is quite a nice way of being, and so on. We live in fear of what might happen. And then the storm comes, and it's no longer to do with anxiety about the potential that could occur. It's in your face. You have to deal with this storm. Now, these storms are character building. Character is not a gift. We have to earn it. We have to build it. And we build it not out of our good fortune, but out of our misfortune. That's the only way to build character. How do we act when there's a test, an examination? And some of us have principles and practices. We have a value system that we enact throughout our lives. It's just what we do. We always do the right thing, whatever the right thing is for us personally. And we have the strength of knowledge that we can cope with whatever comes up because we have that value system. This is the understanding, basically, that we are solid, that our character is solid, that we are the strongest element in any situation. We can deepen our ability to hold center whatever emotional turmoil is going on around us. That is what is meant by somebody who has had a life of character building, somebody who stands in an emergency. Now, do you want to be such a person? Because if you do, then you need to welcome storms, not run away from them. And that's because storms are the way to build your character. How do we cope with storms? Well, we do what needs to be done. We do what can be done. And we just do our best. And yet, that doesn't disturb us emotionally. And the reason why we are not disturbed emotionally is because we have this strength of character, and it is based on the idea that there will be a new beginning. There is always a dawn after a dark night. Always sunshine after the rain. Always. That's how it is. People forget that. Other people remember that. And if you're somebody who remembers that, you live in faith. Excuse me. The storms are not only inevitable, not only necessary, but they are welcome as agencies through which we can unclog that which has become congested within us. So, if you're sincere about your willingness to develop spiritually, then you must understand that your character building approach to life is a requirement, non-negotiable. You have to develop a strength of character and a stillness of character, a peaceful inner sense of optimism, of faith. Without that, you cannot have a workable spiritual understanding of life. It is the foundation of all of that. And fundamentally, it's based on optimism. The world is moving towards a decision point for people. There will be two types of people: those who are optimistic and those who are pessimistic, and they will separate. It's like we're on a river, a fast-flowing river, and in front of us, just downstream a bit, are two whirlpools. This is how I model it in my head. And one whirlpool, let's say, works counterclockwise way and the other in a clockwise way, and one takes us up and one takes us down. And they're inescapable. We must go into one or the other whirlpool. One is for people that want to be optimistic and have faith and expect life always to come out better than it was before. And the other is for people who are pessimistic, people who believe in competitiveness and animosity and not trusting in life and all those kind of things which take us into the dark realms of anxiety and mental torture. How do you choose which of those whirlpools to enter? Well, one by one, your decisions are your examinations of how you choose. In every situation, if you affirm optimism, if you affirm faith, every time you have an examination of such, then you'll go into that whirlpool of optimism and you'll be raised when the time comes, and it's coming. If, on the other hand, you continually affirm the dark cloud and you don't see the silver lining, if you continually believe that it's a horrible place, it's getting worse, you've got no way to survive it, your money problems are going to get worse, you're in bad health, you just think like that, you behave like that, then your whirlpool will be filled with other people that think like that. And that's all we're doing. We're just separating. Some of us want to be in the optimism realm of being, some of us in the pessimistic, some of them in the pessimistic realm of being. I'm going for the ascending whirlpool myself. I'm going to be faithful and optimistic. So I'm suggesting that those people that want this start to make their life choices from the basis of faith. And if you do this, you will be tested in character. It's not enough just to say, yeah, I'd love to be in that whirlpool. Not enough. You'll be tested again and again and again, more deeply every time, until eventually you'll know that there's nothing that can occur in your life to shake you away from your optimism. When you've got to that position, you're home safe. That's where you're aiming if you're a truly committed spiritual person. You're aiming for that safe place, that deep character of peaceful certainty that everything's going to be fine. And you exude that, you radiate that in your personality. You become charismatic because of that. And people are attracted to you because of that. And then you tell them how it works. And they become like that. And it spreads, and it spreads. And a group of people will form, which will be large in number. And this group will be the optimists, those of faith. And we'll move forward into our next dimension of being. And we will not have to trouble ourselves with the others that bring us down all the time with their negativity.